After all this time, after all these decades, it still gets noticed when women are unapologetic, when women choose their own terms, when women define their own idea of morality, of ethics. Um, does it get difficult to be as spunky as you seem publicly? Are there private moments of struggle?
Firstly, I must have this introduction written down and recorded somewhere. It was so kick-ass. Thank you so much, Barkha. Um, no, I think you just get better at it. And given that next year I complete 30 years in the public eye, 3 decades, you kind of have damn good amount of practice by then, and I've kind of made it a habit to try. I'm sure that it used to bother me a lot in my early, you know, 20s when I was in the early phase of my career as an actor. But after that, I think the more I chose to speak my mind, the easier it got.
I was just going to say that, people talk about aging and growing older, and I find one of the brilliant things about getting older is you start caring less and less about anybody else's opinion.
True that. True that.
Yeah. Let's talk about Tali, and then we have a whole lot of other things to talk about. I happen to know Gauri, and I know her from many years ago. But I was pained to see that when you first posted about the series,
Yeah.
there were comments that were hideously transphobic. You had words like "Chhakka" written on your comment page. How did
Yeah.
you navigate that? And did you have a sense of, how deep that kind of prejudice runs in our society till before you did this series?
No, actually, I've always known, just like most people, it's a very general idea. This is what the transgender community looks like, sounds like, behaves like, and everybody's fit into a single box. Everyone fits into that idea. They're loud, they scream, they abuse, they are not educated, and they are this and they are that. So there's a lot of prejudice there. But when you experience someone calling you a chakka, that open, it came like a dhap shock because I'm not used to that. Um, and within seconds, I realized I'm portraying a character, the real life epic person like Sri Gauri Sawant. And for that, I'm being called Chaka, and I take it so personally. It bothered me. So I can't even begin to imagine what people have to live with
Yeah.
every single day of their lives. Uh, so we everything has a catch-22, which is what I learned through the making of Thali. We had workshops where it was less about learning acting or unlearning acting. It was more about understanding real life stories of these characters, of these people, and then saying, damn, there's so much that I take for granted in my life that they've had to fight for. Like in Tali, it's actually a true story from Gauri's life that for when her friend was put in the hospital, the dead body, just to get a stretcher, to put the body on a stretcher. She had to do a dharna and sit outside and curse, and I don't know what all she had to do just to get that much.
Yeah.
It humbles you. It humbles you and it prepares you for what's to come. I don't know. I think it kind of empowered me to just go all in, to tell the
Yeah.
story and become their voice.
You know, it's tough to let go of vanity in the kind of industry that you're in. But when you slip into a character where you're not playing any reality that you've known previously, you're stepping into somebody else's reality. Was it tough to let go of vanity? I mean, you're Sushmita Sen, in the earliest memory of an entire generation. You're the beauty queen, and then
Yeah.
you're stepping into a completely different character. How tough was it to let go of vanity?
It's a lovely question because I thought it would need a little bit of talking to myself. I thought that's what it would need. But surprisingly, the first day that we did the look test was 6 months since it was offered to me. So there was a gap of 6 months. And in that 6 months, I met with Gauri, I met with other transgender community members, I met with the creative people behind the team, everyone. Um, and after I met Gauri and said yes, this photo shoot happened, the look test.
Yeah.
I had already mentally decided that the only thing I wanted to get right was come as close to the essence of Gauri Sawant and her younger photograph as Ganesh, as close to it as possible. Uh, for the first time in my career, I think, in ages, I have not checked myself in the mirror to look at how beautiful I was looking. I looked at it to make sure I was still looking like Gauri and Ganesh. And a person like me saying, "Dada, मुझे लगता है यहाँ दाढ़ी कम है हाँ आज उसको continuity match करना है." So he'd be like, "मैम बाकी actors बोल रहे हैं उसको उतारो, आप लगवा रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो मैम बहुत ज़्यादा दिखेगा." Things like that. No, for the first time, beauty had a different definition for me. It was more of
Yeah.
being these people than looking amazing.
So I want to ask you, and I've always wondered about this. Beauty was your entry into this larger world of media and entertainment and movies and modeling and all the rest of it. But over the years, has your idea of beauty changed? Have you come to a point where you sometimes challenge it? You're constantly in the public eye. Women, in particular, are pressured to look a certain way. There's a deep ageism about women. There's a deep racism or colorism about skin colors and tones. I'm just wondering along the way whether your ideas of beauty have altered.
No, I think it's gotten stronger. It's still pretty much what I thought it was. It's something that resonates long after you've left the room. I've always looked at it as God's handwriting, you're born with it. Some of us just look for it only in the mirror, others know better. So I think why I say that I've always known that is because when I went for Miss Universe, I was barely 18. And that shock on my face when I won was because I was horrified I won. I was like, I can't believe that, this is the idea of beauty that people project it to be. Then I would have never won. So I guess my mom's right. And the upbringing I've had is right. It's God's handwriting. There has to be more to you than what you see. It's deeper than your skin. Skin color, skin tone, essence, everything. So that hasn't really changed, but it has evolved in the sense that I've been a part of a very glamorous industry throughout. And I keep joking that you literally have to pay me to put makeup. Like it's just the only way I put it on. I'm usually bare skin and just me. Um,
Yeah. I
if
was, I
I
was, I was,
could, if I could, I
I,
would have preferred to not wear makeup and not be this. I would want people to know me the way I am.
I was going to ask that does it get tiring sometimes
Oh,
to,
it does.
you know,
That it does.
T.S. Eliot had a poem about putting on a face to meet other faces,
It's,
and I just wondered if it gets exhausting at times to constantly be perfectly manicured.
yeah, it is very, very exhausting. This is not my favorite part of the process at all, except in Tali, the process was fun because it
Yeah.
was getting into a character, male and female. And like I was saying, I've played all genders now. Like it's fun. I have kind of come into my own in that sense. But no, as tiring as that is, you realize I'm a part of a visual medium. And so you have to just suck it up and put on that makeup and make sure your hair is looking fine and just get on with the job.